So let's talk about functions. You already started the homework, that's great. You'll have a better understanding of what we're gonna talk about. A function is a specific type of relation. Here's a definition. So given a relation in x and y, we say y is a function of x if for each value of x in the domain, there's exactly one value of y in the range. So basically, all x's are paired with one y. The one x cannot go to two different places. That makes sense. So if you see, for example, look at number 1. Do you see how this x is paired with 3 and 4? Like that's not a function. As soon as you see that,
And that's on the y,
yeah, these are your x's,
right?
your y's, right? So
So 3, 4, 5 would not be a function.
this set of points is a relation, but not a function, because this x goes to two different y's. It fails.
Oh,
violates
okay,
the definition.
okay. I see what you're saying. So all the x's should be different.
I mean, if all the x's are the same, they better be going to the same place, which would just be the same point over and over again. Like notice here, all these x's go to one point. That's okay. Over here, all 1, 2, and 3. All these right here are different, so for sure it is a function. Right, so none. Yes.
But if they were all the same, it still wouldn't be a function.
Yeah, so just keep an eye out to see, make sure there's no x being paired with two different lines.
Right.
Just look for that. That should be good. But if you see x repeat itself, most likely it's enough. But just double check. Because they could throw it at the same point and mess with you. If you're not paying attention.
Could it be the same y as
Yeah, like all the x's go to the same y, that's okay. You could have like 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 3. That'll all be fine. If all these are going to 6, that's still be a function.
So just the x you look at.
Pretty much, yeah, just check out what the x's are. What your x's are. Okay, so go to the exams, explain why. Like, number 1 is not a function because it violates the definition. No, because when x has two different ones. Simple, you know, nothing crazy. For 4 and 5, it's easier to see if you graph it. Let me graph it. Now we're gonna do that. I'm gonna have you use Desmos as well to do just a graphing. Book, you have these two right in front of you. Plot both of them here. Let's solve for y. Yeah, it's already solved. So an easy visual way to check if the function, if the graph is a function, is to see if you were to draw a vertical line from. Vertical line test says we can draw vertical lines through the graph everywhere and only hit one time each line, then yes, for sure it is a function. But if you had a graph like, let's say,
They hit one time as in,
like when it only intersects with this graph once. And I draw vertical lines.
oh, okay, so it's like a giant circle or something, that was.
Yeah, but the circle for sure is not a function.
Right,
Tell the vertical. So if you had a sideways parabola,
yeah, I think it's saying,
not,
right,
it violates the vertical line. So just graphing here, it's easy to see. The parabola, is that a function?
no, right, or yet,
Yeah, if we draw vertical lines through it, it shouldn't be an issue.
but horizontal don't matter,
Horizontal is a different thing,
okay,
but we're just talking about functions. There is a horizontal tangent,
but not in this
but we'll talk about that later. That's for a special type of function, that's one to one. But if you see how easy to tell visually, right?
one. Yeah,
It is or isn't.
so that's a function too.
It is.
What does the 2x squared mean?
Two squared is just, it's a quadratic function, so they're all gonna be like parabola. So this is
Okay.
the type of graph. So this creates your graph. This is a linear one. First one,
Right,
this is power of one, so it's a line.
okay,
Power of two is quadratic, squared. Two, we got cube, and all of them have a different shape.
right, okay, I can see,
We'll go more into that.
okay,
But for now, I want you to remember, okay, what is the definition of a function? Like the straight up wording. But also, how can you tell visually or with points? You know, how does a set of points violated? How does the graph violated, et cetera? Are there any questions on what a function is? How to solve it? On six, you kind of have to solve for y and then do it. Desmos might let you just plug the whole thing in. But if you solve for y, right, you gotta move the y over two. Right, so subtract the x over. Plus one, both sides, minus x, both sides.
they get flipped the sign.
Yeah, because technically what I would do is plus y, right? Minus 7. No, sorry, actually not. Somebody did. Two. Minus. That gets you to here.
Okay,
So then you can see this is just another line. Like we did before, like, one, I think, or five. Yeah, number four.
Sir, do you have a pencil,
Yeah.
writing utensil?
Yes.
I'll get it back to you, sir.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, just a linear graph. Gonna be no issues. Double check by just graphing.
Does it matter if 7 is a negative x?
No.
So could it be y equals 7 minus x?
Yeah, those are the seconds. It's just traditionally we put the x first, but
I'm just putting it in linear form.
if you put it y equals form, it's easier to see and easier to graph. But traditionally we like this x first. Over here, we have a quadratic though on the x. So if you're just solving for y, right, add the y over, subtract the x over here. You end up with y squared. Then up here, once you do your algebra, you see how now the square is on the y. So you'd have to solve for y or you could graph it as is. So let's try graphing it like this. Just for a moment. But if you were to square root both sides to solve for y, you would end up with this piece. The plus or minus, remember? I believe it was in your pi stuff. Still solve for y and get there. But now I have two pieces that makes the graph.
Oh, it just happens twice.
They have a positive version and a minus version. The technically two parts. Plug it in the way it was. Do fine. Originally it was,
X
I think,
equals 7.
so -1. Yeah.
So it still came up.
Yeah, Desmos can handle it like this. Your graphing calculators cannot. And you have to solve for one. But check it out, once you, with the purple one is just a straight up normal line. So if you draw vertical lines on it, there's no issues, right? Okay, no problems. But the other one has issues. Yeah, you're just gonna intersect everything. So, not a function. So when they give you an equation, it looks like this. The easiest way is to graph it and just see what's going on. Okay. If you're using your calculator, then you have to solve for y like we did here. If you're using decimal, just put it in. Look at it. Okay. Anyway, is there any questions on that idea?
Do we have this one?
It's just a website.
Oh, okay,
That's all there is. I'm gonna have you try it out in a moment with the worksheets.
okay.
Just a second. Watch how to use it. It's pretty good. I like it.
If you, so on Desmos, if you solve for y,
Plus or minus.
yeah, how would you do the plus and minus on Desmos?
That's good. What we do is that's two separate functions,
Okay.
but I think it might be a plus or minus symbol. Separately, you could just do this. That's how I do it on the calculator. It's the only way you have two separate functions that just connect.
Oh.
But this is the same as we had before, right? But I think there's a plus or minus symbol. Yeah,
We
there's,
just do it as two separate.
yeah, it's gonna be, I see. Okay, let's look at these. What do you guys think? Are they functions?
Not the first one.
For sure, the first one, no, right? And that's because there's a vertical line test definition. A graph defines y as a function of x if no vertical line intersects the graph at more than one point. So vertical line intersects twice all over the place. Right? No, you would explain it. It fails a vertical line test on the exam. You say it's not a function because it does not pass the vertical line test. Is that straightforward? Over here, looks like it's just fine. You draw vertical lines everywhere, so yes, it's a function. But it passes the vertical line test. What about 11?
No.
No, because
It fell once.
Even at 0, 0? I mean, or, I'm sorry, right there?
yeah, you
Doesn't
see it,
matter.
right? It hits everywhere else is cool. But right here, it's two solid dots that get hit twice. That's what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah, because of that, it's not a function. If there was like an open circle and the other one was solid, it would have been fine. But they're both solid, so no. But 9 and 11 fail the vertical line test, so they're not functions. 10 is a function, okay? So I would probably put that on your formula sheet, I'll let you use the formula sheet of the test. Put the definition of a function on there. Make sure, maybe create a little visuals to remind yourself what it means.
What do you mean formula sheet?
You can create a formula page for yourself. For
Oh,
first test.
like a blank paper?
Yeah, so whatever you think, there's formulas, definitions, that kind of stuff. Not examples. Any questions on 9, 10, 11? So far, straightforward, right? Let me know if I make no sense. This part is just about the notation. We can kind of use it already a little bit, maybe. All the math classes just blend together in my head, I don't know the heck I'm talking about anymore. So part A, if you see this notation, you're replacing basically the x with -3, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So f is this function. So -3 is gonna go where all your x's are, that's it. So input, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever's in here, whether it's a variable, a number, or some, whatever, a triangle, just put it in there, replace all the x's with that. Who cares? That makes sense? And then just add them up. So this one, your 10 dots comes into play, right? Then your top row is that now. Right. Solve it, add it up. What do we get? What's our output here? Figure your calculator plug it in exactly the way it is. You get 3 times -3. -3 squared is positive. Neat.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks, man. No big deal, right? Here it says plug in capital A, so just do it, don't question it. A is gonna go in there. Just
Same
like, just like -3. Right. Here's. Yeah, A is just some variable, I don't know what it is.
Just there.
Done. We want something else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if it was a B or C squared, just put it in. Don't worry about it. Part C is the same thing, right? 3 plus Z is gonna go inside for every single X. Which will make us do some algebra, but it's the same thing, right?
Right.
Just do it. See what happens. So squaring this will create your 3 terms, right? It's the binomial squared. You give you a formula, do a shortcut, or you can do the FOIL twice. However you want to do it. I'm gonna skip to the answer here. If it bothers you, let me know and we'll show more steps. But it should be 9 plus 6z plus z squared. Once you do the FOIL, you'll get 3 terms. Distribute your -3. That one is hanging out. So I did the expansion of the square, distribution of 3. Now we're here. So this is a little more annoying, but it's just extra algebra, right?
It's just still PEMDAS though, right?
Yeah. Exactly. all I did. I did the parentheses first, right, exponent. Left to right. Distributor two, so parentheses there. And everything that's the same, and we're done.
Yeah, okay.
There's only one quadratic term, so I should write it. So I'm putting a line through my Z's, because they look like twos. Okay, make sure you notice. It's not a 7.
Mine's easy like twos also.
Yeah, sorry, guys, it's just confusing everybody. 12 minus 3. $18 minus 9 plus 1. 10. That's it. You see what the notation's asking you to do. F is the name of the function. This is the input. This is the x value. The output over here is like your range value.
And that's the final answer right there. You don't gotta do anything else because it's
And
like factored, right?
nothing combines, and they didn't ask us to do anything else, they said evaluate. We did that. I'm not gonna do extra work,
Gotcha.
for no reason. G, so now this one's called G. Plug in 3. What'd you guys get? You plug in 3.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, so this is your new function.
Square root 6 minus 2 and then parentheses 3, right?
Yeah.
All in the parentheses, I mean the square root.
Yeah, everything's inside. You guys get it?
I don't understand how to do that, how you do the square root. So then you have -6 and then -6 inside the square root. And then what would you do with those two numbers?
Well, combine the line term first. Yeah, 6 minus 6, right?
Yeah,
What is that?
the 0.
So you got square root of 0. Which is still 0.
That's it. Okay, so that's just simple.
Yeah, that's all it is. If you end up with something negative inside after you do an input, then you would say, not defined or not real.
If you end up with the negative,
Yeah, like this one.
right?
And plug in 4, what do you get? You see the issue?
But then the calculator's gonna give you. the error,
Don't
right?
mean errors.
Yeah.
So there's no real solution or real value or real output when you put in this input. So in the whole real, I think there's either non-real or undefined or something like that.
Okay.
It'll tell you. Should be like a option.
You can see it, you see it, it's square root of 14.
This one? Square root of 14.
I see. So if the number inside if the square root becomes like a prime number, then that's undefined. Because then it goes into it, right? Two numbers can't go into the same.
Which one?
Like for -2, like, because that's prime, right? And there's not gonna be no square root of negative of the prime number, right?
Well, you cannot square root negative numbers.
Okay,
Primed, that statement. I believe you. Not square root. Yes,
okay,
but that's not the issue here, is part of this negative.
okay, I see.
Negative 2 times -4, 8, 6 plus 8, 14. Can this be reduced?
Yes,
We check by looking at the factors, because it's not
No.
prime, right? But
yeah,
is there any squared factors? Inside 14.
the 7,
Two
well, the
times-
7, 2 times 7, it's not,
Yeah, 2 times 7 are the only factors, right?
right,
And those are not squared, so.
legal, leave it like that.
It's fine.
So like, you can think of it. It's big.
It should tell you in the homework, exact numbers, exact solutions, or, yeah, what's it called? Fractions or integers. If it says something like that, no decimals. Okay. Most likely there won't be decimals. Anyway, you all cool with the idea of these numbers, what the notation means. Once you put it in, you just do algebra. Okay. That's all this is asking you to do. Let's do this for a second. So for the next part, this is the harder part. This is the next part, is determine the domain range of a function. So you gotta find out, okay, what are all the domain values? What are all your range values? It's easy to tell if you graph it, but if you don't, it'll be difficult. But here we have visuals, so it'll be a little easier. So remember, your x values are the domain, right? So this will eventually hit all the x's, right? It keeps going forever. So the domain should be all real numbers. They don't mention how to write it.
But it's not hitting the X right now, though.
Well, all these x's are being mapped to some y value.
Oh, yeah,
They're all x comma y.
yeah,
So there are inputs there. So all x values are eventually, oops, input.
okay,
So you would say the domain is the negative infinity to infinity, or all real numbers. I don't know how they do it in homework. Yeah. This is the interval notation. This is just saying all real numbers, whatever. I prefer this one. That's the one to use. Pretty sure the homework gonna make you do the same. Remember, domain is only the x value. Range is the y value. What is the lowest y value that you see? Looks like
or the 3,
1, 2 right there. Oh, it's 2.
So if we bracket to infinity.
Yeah, because it keeps going up forever. So we put a bracket if we're gonna start right there. And then keep going.
oh, because it ends at 2,
That's what
it's the lowest one.
Yeah, 2 is like the beginning and then it keeps going up, right?
So if it was flipped and it was like negative infinity comma 2 bracket,
Yeah, you always put the most negative first.
right?
That's the easiest way to remember, like, how do you do it is. The most negative goes first, the most positive goes second,
The lowest,
lowest first, comma biggest.
okay,
Okay. You never put brackets on infinity. It's always parentheses.
right, it keeps going.
You only put brackets on numbers if they're starting right on it. If you're starting after, then you put parentheses. Like, for example, check this one out. If I was only looking at that arrow, this part, see how there's a hole there? So I would not start on there, I would start right. But whatever. That's what I mean by don't put a bracket. Unless you're starting on. Anyway. Look at 18. Do we hit all x values? This is a weird looking function. It's all the negative x's eventually. It hits all the positive x's.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then
Right. Yeah,
and zero, some weird shit happening, but
right.
we do hit it. We just kind of, we hit it once, which is good,
Eventually.
but we're good. Looks like all real numbers, the domain.
Oh.
We hit all the y's.
Yes, right? Or no? Oh, no, well.
It starts on -11.
Yeah, the lowest one's right here, right? It
11.
doesn't keep going down.
Right,
It keeps going up, so we will hit all the ones up top. But
but it
there's
ends
no
on
lowest.
-11.
Yeah, for the beginning. Smallest it ever gets. Bracket right on there. And it keeps going up forever.
Is that -11 or 10?
The time. Yeah, I guess so. Did you see the idea though?
Yeah. I'm starting to get it. If it would have kept going all the way down, then it would have been negative infinity, infinity.
Yeah, like if we had an arrow going like this. Yeah, you get
It went off the map.
Any questions on 17 or 18?
Two more.
Then it's. Okay. What do y'all think on these? Did you try 19 and 20 for a bit? Technically, yeah. But here the union would end up being. eight. Like if there was a bigger gap, like for example. uh, Let's say the line was not right above it, it was like. Let's say it started over here, then it'd be a gap, so it'd be easier to see, okay. All this plus all that. That's two pieces.
Oh,
You probably have to do that.
okay.
It just depends. Okay, what you gotta get for 19?
That negative 38.
Negative.
Yeah, it has an arrow, so that means it keeps going forever.
Oh,
To the negative,
that's right, yeah.
Negative infinity. And the highest x it ever hits
Or
is a solid point, it doesn't imply an arrow. Yeah. So it's bracketed because it's landed right on. Our range, y values. The lowest it ever gets.
One.
That's pretty clear.
it would be a parentheses, right? So
No, because it's closed over here, so it's okay. But if we were talking about that x, then it would be. Highest it ever gets.
Eight.
8.
Okay.
But it looks like it skips some stuff, right? I can't say 1 to 8, because then that would mean that I include this. Which is not true. This is only what you were talking about. So. From here. The best way to do it. Say the single element 1. Combine with it, so you use the union symbol of the U, to unite two sets. With 1, 2, all the way to 2 to 8. Isn't it a little harder? I feel like that. I said 8 out of infinity. Side with 8.
That's what you put in the homework too. You gotta put like that in the homework too.
I believe it should be like this. But we'll check in a second. But either way, eventually you can do this, but it's not now. It is this.
So it ends on 1, and then I need to include both,
Yeah, so it's at 1, and then it jumps to 2,
and then
stops at 8.
you gotta put that symbol.
Yeah. So if we have 2 separate sets, they're not connected. You use it.
So the one would be, maybe bracketed, or you did a different symbol you put for the 1.
But this is like braces.
Okay, so
So the little braces means set. That makes sense though? Okay. 20, what's the lowest it goes?
for X, is that circle matter though? That's all we need, that circle.
Circle is but I don't think it matters for domain, because eventually I'm gonna hit all of them, right? The domain doesn't seem to be a problem. There is a random point there.
It is infinity.
I would say it ruins it being a function. As far as range though, goes down forever. But it has the highest point, right?
It's not.
So it should be. That doesn't mess anything up. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Right. Any question on 19 or 20? Okay, moving on. Use the graph. They're calling this your function. We have just a graph, we don't have the actual equation, we don't know what it is. But you can still find inputs. So remember, this is your x factor, right? So -3 would be 1, 2, 3 right there. So what x value, what y value do we get? So this is the point, -3, -3, right? Right here. So the input -3 is the x value, the output is the y value.
So how do you know the input is for X though?
It's always gonna be x, that's written this way. That's telling you to replace the x.
Okay, you gotta find one.
Yeah, whenever you plug it in, what you get is the y.
Okay,
So input is x, output is y. Input is -3, output is -3.
we're gonna meet on that one.
So this is your x value,
Right.
and your y value. Okay, so what is that for 0? There's 0 right there, the x value. So the y is kind of like 2, right? Just about. Yeah, so the output, the y value is 2. When your x is 0. Does that make sense? The notation?
Yeah, that does.
So now, if your y value is -1, well, then what x would that correspond to? -1 y is here, so the x is right, -1. So this x. Negative.
Okay, so the Y value is on the outside.
Yeah, so the output is the y, so
Right,
what gives you an output of -1?
right.
Turns out to be negative. What about the output of 1? What creates a 1? Positive.
You put both those numbers in?
One's right here for the y, right? We're not defined there, but we are defined over here.
So it would just be.
You don't include the one. It's not ten to be one.
Yeah, it's not defined there. Really close though.
What if it was?
If it was defined, then you'd have two different x values, x with a 2 and x with a -1. You have two solutions. What's the x-intercept?
There is.
Yeah, there's none. Yeah, I'd say NA, undefined. Either one. I don't know, your homework has a specific phrase, you just. Anyway. That making sense?
Yep.
What is the y-intercept? 2, right? As a point, it would be 0, 2. One just the value, so 2. What about the domain? Do we hit all x's?
Yes.
Looks like it.
It'd be negative, positive, right?
Yeah. Range.
would be negative 30 to negative 1. Positive 1, sorry.
Oh, cause that gap,
Yeah, we gotta deal with the gap. So if there's gaps, create a set for one part, create another set after the gap.
And you would do the U, right?
Yeah, and then combine the two sets with the union. Let's look at it. So from here to here, right? It's negative infinity, and the highest point is 1, solid dot. Then from here to here,
right,
right? It's gonna be what, 1, right? But no bracket. So. We have 2 parts.
So if we look at the line, there's a point where it does hit the Y.
Oh, yeah,
Across, so would it be a bracket?
yes, you're right. Right about that.
where's that at?
Over here. So it comes back down eventually, so it would actually include it.
But if it didn't hit that point, it would.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be parentheses. That was. That almost tricked us. So combine both of them together and you'll have the total range. So the actual range would be. Range. Be unity. So 1.
Negative.
You're running into the domain, sir.
You're combining 2 separate sets, right? Cover the entire range. Any question on those ideas?
So, but after the U and the positive 1, you bracket it because it technically doesn't, because it technically ends, it doesn't keep going.
Yeah, we don't include
You're
the,
not looking at that circle, the empty circle, you're looking at the next one. So come back where it came back down, right?
yeah, we're looking at, so basically we're looking at
It goes up and back down.
negative infinity all the way to -1.
Right,
Now you jump all these y values.
right.
And we hit, eventually hit 1, and then everything above.
But that circle with the, that circle, that doesn't count as the 1, it's the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah, technically it starts right after 1, then it comes down and hits 1 again. Eventually, it's truly hit 1 here, and then it's everything above.
Okay,
Now, why
So,
on the second one with the hollowed circle?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be excluding that?
yeah, so we thought at first, so we should exclude it, but because it comes back down and hits it, then we include it. We always put the lowest one first, so. Write it this way. Once you work on those 2 sheets I gave you. And then finish the homework. And I'll help you out with the sheets too. Interesting.
I think we do first.
Do the, that says, One thing, the other one, the second. If I want to just do for. Yeah. Yeah. So, right now. Yeah, that's all. Anyone else see one? Okay, so I'm getting, I only have one. You guys see my point?
Yeah.
All right, give me a second. No, I didn't turn more of the other one. Part three. Two times -2 -3. Y would be -4 -3, which is -7. Should have a -7 here. So you guys got so far? So. Okay. Last one. We plug it in. So, right, so. Add 3 over, get a new. Divide by 2. Six, 3. Three. But. Could have. 3. If you have any issues with which I work you to have, right? They give an equation and they want you to plug in what they gave. They just fill in the blanks. You have them all. Draw your little grid best you can. 0, -3. 1, -1. -2, -7. Three, 3. 1, 2, 3, up 3. Okay, let's do number 2. Number 2 for X. I can understand, right? Those are pretty easy. X here. -3. Place this with your Y.
Did that one, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're on number 2.
That's the first one.
You're right. Dylan has 6.
Yeah, the other one's another, yeah,
There.
it's not a white.
Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So again, if X is 0, that piece is pretty much gone. So if you're left with a 3Y, divide both sides by 3 and you're done. So that should work. So X equals 0. You get 4 times 0. It's done. Like 3. Line solve. So X is 0. You get y is 0. It's gonna be what, 3
over 2.
over 2. I don't care about the answer. I see your work. And 0. We have 4x plus 3 times 0. Gone. 4x. 6. Divide both sides by 4. Which reduces to 2. Right?
So. Or is it 2/3 or 3/2?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. 4. Yes. So it looks like the same in my head. Both. This become 3. This become 5. This is 3. Now we have 4 times 3 plus 3y equal to 6. This is 12, right?
Right?
Subtract 12 over. You end up with 3y equal to 6 minus 12, which is -6, right?
Right.
Divide both sides by 3. Y is -2, so when x is 3, y is -2. -2. Last one is what? When x is y is negative. Plug in -1, solve for x. Add the 3 over. Then do your division. X is 9/4.
Okay, so you always, the one that you're looking for is the one that you always cancel out and then add it to the other side or minus or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna plug in one of them. And so you're gonna be solving for whatever variable is there.
Right, the one that you're looking for. Okay, that's the one that gets canceled.
Yeah, eventually you gotta divide it out.
Okay, that's
There's a-
what,
There's
that's what
a
I was.
coefficient. Yeah, you see a number on there, it's 4 times x. So you gotta do the opposite, which is
Right,
division.
okay.
9/4. Last one. Any questions on this, any of those? Is that okay?
And,
Yeah, again, sir. 2-0,
Well, the top part?
got, what, got you? The other two,
Doing the algebra that you were practicing for 2 weeks, right? That's all we're doing, right? Or applying it to the first 2 sections of the class. Just starting. Okay. Well, we should graph it. I'd say use the intercepts. You don't have to use those fractions. maybe these two, the 0, 2 and through -2, just connect those. Don't bother with the 3/2 or the 9/4. It's kind of annoying. Just connect two nice numbers, if you have them. Zero, 2. 3, -2. Good enough for me. That's all I want you to do. It's not too bad. Basically, they want the intercepts, and we should know that. Intercepts are gonna happen. Y-intercept will happen when the x is 0. Y-intercept will happen. That y-intercept is when the x is 0, y-intercept is when the y is 0, we have the x-intercept, x is 0, we have the y-intercept. So this one is y-intercept. This is x. But you can kind of tell what's gonna happen, right?
Yes, sir.
If x is 0, well, y is gonna be 6. If y is 0, well, x. If x is 0, y is 6, and y is 0. Both gonna be
That's
similar. Then I want you to graph just by connecting these 2 points.
Right. okay.
Show the outside. It'll be pretty straightforward.
How do you find that f, sir? How do you find the f, that function or the
That
fx?
is given to you right here.
Okay,
So I want you to just type it in exactly like this.
okay,
To Desmos, close it.
okay.
All of it. So what you can do, but these are the x values right here. Go in braces, you're saying your x's go from 0 to 1. So if I plug in 0, the function, remember that, so that's an occasion maybe going inside the function. So the doesn't actually tell you what the output is. 0. Plug it in yourself, square root of 0 is 0. Can also plug in the last one. Last one is about 2.24 or something. You can see it by dragging your mouse as well. The lowest point on the y value is 0. Highest point is 2.236. Okay. So you can get the range by just looking at the lowest point and highest point. Okay. Let's do a rough sketch using this right here. No big deal, right? Let's look at the domain. Looking at that picture. Domain is literally given to you. Was 0 to 5. The range we saw the lowest point on that picture. 0, and we said the y was what, 2 point something? 2, 4, 2, 3. Intercept happened at the origin, so all we can say 0, 0. 0, 0. This is the same as saying that x is from 0 to 5, and this is the same as saying that the y is from here to here. Same. But I prefer the brackets.
So that's 0, 2.2, 3, and 6.
Yes. That's what we saw right here.
Okay, I see that. It's a decimal, sorry.
2.2. Any question on that first page? Is that okay? Kind of page 2. then x is from -2 not equal to so 3. So if it's not equal to, see how that, there's a line underneath, that's gonna be a hole. -2, it says undefined, it's open. At 3 goes all the way until 6. So if you try to plug in the lowest value, you're not supposed to, because it's not equal to, but if you did, it will tell you right away. Okay. Sure. If I plug in the 3, I'll know the output is for the 3, the output is for the lowest. But try to look at it and see, okay, what is the value? Lowest value is -3, highest value is 6 for the rate. The domain is given to you right there. So you don't have to do much. That's the sort of right there. So as you write it down, good. Domain is literally given to us, but there's no equal to, so put parentheses. Bracket on 3. Range, so that's a picture, lowest. -3, highest. So it was 6, then. Graph will pretty much give you everything you need. If you know how to get information off of it.
But that next part, question 4, I didn't know how to write the X instead of.
Well, that's point. It says order pair. So that means points, so for the X, it should be something 0, for the Y, it should be 0 something.
Right. But like, there's 2 X intercepts on it, right? So, like decimal form. Like, that's why I was like kind of confused.
Oh, there's 2 of them. And
Yeah.
they're not pretty. And 5.
Yeah. I was kind of confused on that one.
Yeah, it just happened.
That would be the right way to put it.
Just right about number the column. Yeah, just put this point, comma, this point.
Okay, so you put the decimal.
Yeah, because if we plug it in. Yeah, there's no pretty number. It's gonna be square root of something.
Okay.
Plus or minus.
Okay.
It's just how it is.
How do you, what button do you click to get the dots to show up and emotes?
Just click, usually I'll let you click and it'll hold those points for important points, not always, but. Like the apex or vertex and the intercept, just click there and it should pop up.
Okay,
Or intersections, they'll pop up there too. You agree?